The Galactic Council chamber was one of the largest rooms ever created in the known universe. It was shaped like a star, with long glowing lines running across the floor and walls. Hundreds of alien species sat in layered circles around a single empty platform in the center. The sound of the chamber was usually loud, filled with different voices and different languages. But today it was completely silent. Today the Council wanted to make one final decision about a small but rising planet called Earth. For months, alien intelligence reports had warned the Council that humans were advancing too quickly. Their technology was growing. Their ships were becoming bigger. Their armies were becoming smarter. And worst of all, humans kept surviving events that should have killed them. Some Council members believed humans were too dangerous to be allowed to grow any further. Now the Council wanted to decide if Earth should be forced to kneel, or be destroyed. The main chamber doors slowly opened with a deep metallic echo. Every alien's eyes turned toward the entrance. Only one human walked inside. He had no guards, no armor, no weapon, only a dark suit and calm steps. His face showed no fear. His eyes moved slowly across the chamber, studying every alien with a steady expression. He walked to the center platform and stopped as thousands of alien soldiers pointed their weapons at him. Some aliens whispered in confusion. Why did Earth send only one person? Do they think one human is enough? This must be a joke. Others felt something else, a strange tension, like something was not right. Why was a human alone in a room full of enemies, and still so calm? The Council leader finally stood. He was a tall creature with silver horns, long arms, and dark red skin. His voice echoed through the hall. "Human," he said slowly, "you stand in the presence of the Galactic Council. You have been invited to hear our final decision. Earth is now considered a threat. Earth is growing too fast. Earth must be stopped." The human diplomat did not blink. The Council leader continued, "The galaxy has chosen war. Earth will surrender within 72 hours, or face destruction." Whispers spread quickly around the hall. Some aliens nodded, thinking the human would break under pressure. Others leaned forward, waiting to see fear on his face. But the human did not show fear. He did not look angry. He did not even look surprised. He simply smiled. It was a small smile, slow and controlled, but it carried a strange weight. Many aliens felt a cold wave run down their spines. They did not know why, but something about that smile was wrong. Humans were known for being emotional. They cried, they shouted, they argued, they panicked. But this human stood in the center of the galaxy's biggest threat, and smiled like he knew something the Council did not. The Council leader frowned. "Human," he said again, "do you understand what war means?" The human lifted his head slightly. His eyes moved across the room, and every alien felt as if he was looking directly at them. Finally he spoke. "You say the galaxy has chosen war," he said in a calm voice. "If that is your choice, then very well." He paused. The smile returned, sharper this time. "Shall we begin?" The entire chamber froze. Some aliens stood up from their seats. Some stepped back without thinking. Others felt fear slowly growing in their stomachs. Why was the human not afraid? Why was he smiling at the start of a galactic war? The Council leader slammed his hand on the table. "Is this a joke? Is Earth mocking the Council?" But the human only tilted his head. "Mocking?" he said softly. "No. I am simply ready." The lights above flickered for a moment. The glowing floor dimmed, then returned to normal. Many aliens looked around in confusion. What was that? Is the chamber malfunctioning? Something is wrong. The human touched a small device in his ear. A faint clicking sound was heard, as if he received a private message. His smile widened. "What signal was that?" one alien guard demanded, stepping forward. The human ignored him. He raised his eyes and looked toward the ceiling, as if he could see through the metal and into space beyond. "Your scanners cannot see it yet," he said quietly. "But they will." The Council leader narrowed his eyes. "What is Earth hiding?" The human finally looked back at him. "Not hiding," he said. "Preparing." A cold silence filled the chamber. For the first time the Council felt uncertainty. Fear. Doubt. They had declared war expecting Earth to bend, to beg, to fall. But instead the human stood alone, calm, confident, and smiling like the galaxy had just made a terrible mistake. The chamber lights flickered again. This time the ground vibrated softly, just enough for the aliens to feel it under their feet. Every alien turned to the Council leader in panic. What was that? Why is the chamber shaking? Has Earth already attacked? But the human only whispered, "It begins." And the entire Council understood. Humanity was not afraid of war. Humanity was ready for it. The council chamber shook a second time, slightly stronger than before. Dust drifted from the high ceiling. Some alien guards tightened their grips on their weapons, while others looked toward the entrance as if expecting an attack at any moment. But the human diplomat did not move. He simply watched them as if he knew every reaction before it happened. His calm face made the fear inside the chamber even worse. The council leader raised his hand. Guards, scan the entire area. Check for stealth ships, bombs, or hidden human technology. Dozens of soldiers rushed out. The chamber lights flickered again. Every alien felt the pressure building. Something big was happening, something they could not understand. Human, the council leader growled, what have you done? What is coming? The human did not answer immediately. Instead, he walked slowly in a small circle, observing the massive room as if examining a museum. His steps were soft, almost relaxing, but the silence around him made each step sound like a threat. Finally he stopped and spoke. You declared war, he said quietly. You expected fear. You expected Earth to kneel. But you never asked a simple question. He turned his head slightly. What if Earth was waiting for this moment? The sentence struck the council like a blade. Aliens exchanged terrified looks. Waiting? For war? No species waits for war. But the human only smiled again. He touched the device in his ear. This time a clearer signal sounded, a single soft beep. One beep. Only the human understood what it meant. He looked up and his eyes sharpened. Your scanners will detect it soon. The council leader slammed his hand again. Detect what? Speak clearly. The human answered with a single word. Arrival. A deep vibration rolled across the chamber floor, stronger than before. A few alien seats shook. Holographic lights along the walls flickered. This time many aliens stood up. This is an attack. The humans tricked us. We must evacuate. But the human laughed softly, not loud, not mocking, just a quiet, confident laugh that cut deeper than any roar. If this were an attack, he said, you would not be standing here. The council leader narrowed his eyes. Then what is happening? The human looked directly at him. Your mistake, he said, was believing you were the only ones who watched. Before the council leader could reply, the chamber doors burst open. The alien guards returned, breathing fast, eyes wide with panic. Council leader, one shouted. You must see the scans. The leader growled. What did you find? The guard trembled. Not ships, not weapons, something else. He extended a holographic tablet. The council leader grabbed it and stared at the data. His skin turned pale. What is this? The chamber became silent again. Every alien waited. The council leader slowly lifted his head, eyes shaking in disbelief. The human fleet, he whispered, is not outside our system. The human smiled softly. No, they are not. The leader swallowed hard. They are here. Gasps filled the chamber. Some aliens stepped backward. Some nearly fell from their seats. The leader continued, voice cracking. They appeared inside our defense perimeter, without triggering any alarms. Our sensors did not detect them until they were already in orbit. A quiet horror spread through the chamber. How can they do that? No ship can bypass council sensors. Even we cannot do that. The human folded his hands behind his back. Humans learn, he said. Humans adapt. He walked closer to the council leader, who instinctively stepped back. The human whispered. And humans do not show everything they build. The room shook again, but this time it wasn't the chamber, it was the entire council station. A deep mechanical sound echoed from above, like something enormous had entered orbit. The holographic screens around the chamber suddenly activated on their own. Every screen displayed the same image. A human battleship. Not one. Not 10. Not 100. Thousands. A fleet so large that it covered an entire side of the station. Aliens stared in shock. Some could not breathe. Others fell back into their seats. The ships were different from any known human design. Sleek, dark, silent. They had no visible thrusters, no glowing engines. They simply hovered, massive shadows blocking half the stars. The council leader whispered, This is impossible. The human diplomat finally spoke again. Impossible for you, he said calmly. Not for us. One alien shouted, This is a threat. Humans are attacking us. The diplomat shook his head. Not attacking. Not yet. He looked around the room, letting the silence grow heavier. You declared war first. We simply answered. His voice was soft, but everyone felt it like thunder. Then his expression hardened. And now the galaxy will learn what happens when you threaten our home. The council leader's voice cracked. Human, what do you want? The diplomat took a slow breath as if preparing for the final blow. I want you to understand something you never understood before. He stepped forward, his shadow falling across the council leader. You thought humans were weak because we were quiet. Because we did not spread. Because we did not attack first. He leaned closer. But humans are silent for a reason. We only speak when it matters. He smiled one last time. And now, it matters. The chamber lights dimmed. A deep alarm sounded across the station. The human fleet outside activated their weapons. Silent, glowing lines forming across their hulls like awakening giants. The aliens trembled. The humans spoke softly. Shall we continue? The chamber was filled with the sound of alarms, low, deep, and shaking the walls like a distant storm. Red warning lights flashed across every pillar, every seat, and every metal surface. Aliens scrambled in panic, their voices mixing into a chaotic blur of fear. But in the very center of the storm, the human diplomat stood perfectly still. He did not blink. He did not step back. He simply watched. The council leader tried to shout commands, but his voice shook too much. Shut down the alarm. Stabilize the station. Someone take control. But no one listened. Every soldier, every official, every species, was staring at the holographic images on the screens. The human fleet outside the station had taken full formation. Thousands of warships aligned in perfect silence, like a dark metal wall hanging in space. The fleet did not move, did not fire, did not make a sound. And somehow that stillness was more terrifying than any attack. The human diplomat finally broke the silence. You see, he said gently, humans do not always attack first, but we always finish what others start. His voice echoed across the chamber. Even those who were panicking stopped and turned toward him, as if the calmness in his words forced them to listen. The council leader grabbed the edge of his desk, trying to stay steady. Human, this is madness. You brought war to our capital. The diplomat tilted his head. No. You invited war when you declared it. He took a slow step forward. Then another. Every alien soldier raised their weapon instinctively. But none fired. The diplomat spoke again, not scared at all. You still do not understand. You think these ships are here to destroy you? He paused, letting the fear settle. They are here to show you something. The council leader hissed. Show us what? The human's expression softened, but not in a friendly way. It was the softness of a teacher explaining a lesson to a slow student. To show you, he said, what humanity becomes when you push us. Suddenly the screens changed again. A new shape appeared in space. No one recognized it. Not even the council. At first it looked like a massive shadow stretching across half the viewing field. Then the details became clear. Metal plates, glowing lines, and a structure so large that even the council station seemed tiny next to it. An alien gasped. Is that a ship? But it wasn't just a ship. It was something far bigger. The holographic text on the screen read, Humanity Flagship, Resolute Dawn, Class Unknown. The council leader nearly dropped the tablet he was holding. No ship this big can exist, he whispered. It breaks every law of engineering. The human diplomat finally smiled again. Humans don't ask the universe for permission, he said. We build what we must. The massive flagship slowly rotated in space. Its sides opened like giant metal wings, revealing giant energy cores glowing like burning stars. Even the human fleet around it looked small in comparison. Aliens throughout the chamber trembled. One of them spoke in fear, This is not a warship, this is a planet killer. Another shouted, What do humans want from us? The diplomat raised a hand and the room quieted again. War is not our goal, he said softly. But you declared one. You chose to threaten our home. You tried to control something you never understood. He turned his eyes toward the council leader. And now the price of that mistake stands outside your window. The chamber floor shook again. This time it was a steady vibration like something enormous was powering up. The holographic screens zoomed in on the flagship. Its central core glowed brighter and brighter, charging energy. Every alien in the room froze. Human, the council leader whispered, you're going to fire. You're going to destroy us. The diplomat shook his head gently. If we wanted to destroy you, he said, you would not still be speaking. A cold chill swept across the room. He continued, No. What you're seeing is not a weapon. Aliens exchanged confused and terrified looks. If not a weapon, then what is it? The diplomat placed his hand behind his back and spoke calmly. It is a message. At that moment, the flagship's core released a giant burst of white light, but not toward the station. Instead, the energy expanded outward into space in a wide circle like a giant ring. The ring of light stretched far, touching nearby stars, bending gravity itself. It was not an attack. It was a demonstration. A demonstration of power. The chamber grew silent. No alarms. No screams. Just stunned silence. The council leader slowly sank back into his seat. It is beautiful, one alien whispered. It is terrifying, another said. It is both, the diplomat replied. He allowed them a long moment to watch the light fade. Then he spoke again, his voice steady and emotionless. Humans do not fight because we enjoy war. We fight because we protect what matters to us. And when the galaxy threatens us, we respond. He stepped back onto the center platform. Now, he said calmly, you must decide. The lights flickered. The human fleet outside held position. The flagship waited like a silent giant. The diplomat looked at the council leader. Do you continue your war? He paused. Or do you survive? The chamber's breathing grew heavy. Everything depended on the council's next words. The chamber felt heavier than before, as if the air itself had become thicker. Every alien stared at the human diplomat, waiting for the council leader to speak. But the leader did not move. His hands shook. His eyes were fixed on the giant flagship still displayed on the screens. The human stood calmly, the same soft smile on his face. He did not push them. He did not threaten them. He simply waited. The silence inside the chamber grew longer, darker, almost painful. Finally, one of the council members, a small creature with crystal skin, spoke in a trembling voice. Human, if we choose peace, will you leave? The diplomat turned his head toward the creature, then shook his head gently. No, he said. Peace is not enough. A wave of fear passed through the chamber. The creature stuttered. What do you want? The human stepped forward, and every alien soldier pointed weapons again. But once more none fired. The diplomat's presence felt heavy, like some invisible force surrounded him. We want understanding, he said. You declared war because you feared us. You feared what humans could become. He glanced at the giant flagship on the screen. And now you see what we have already become. Some aliens looked away, unable to meet his eyes. The diplomat continued, but humans are not here to conquer your worlds. We are not here to destroy your species. We are not interested in ruling the galaxy. His voice grew cold. But we will not allow anyone to threaten our home. A deep vibration rumbled under the chamber floor again. This time it was not from the human fleet. It was coming from deep inside the council station. The leader snapped out of his shock. What was that? A guard rushed in. Council leader. A security breach. Someone is hacking our central core. The leader's face went pale. Is it the humans? All eyes turned to the diplomat. But he shook his head. No, he said calmly. Not us. The chamber screens flickered. Then a new symbol appeared, a logo no one recognized. A circle, with 3 sharp lines cutting through it. The aliens stared at it in confusion and panic. Who is that? What faction is this? What is happening? The human diplomat's expression changed for the first time. His smile faded, replaced by a sharp, serious look. It seems, he said slowly, you are not the only ones watching. The council leader shouted, Explain, human. The diplomat stepped back, his eyes narrowing at the new symbol. That, he said, belongs to a group you know nothing about. A group even the galaxy fears. He paused. A group that was waiting for you to make a mistake. The station lights flashed red. The symbol zoomed in and expanded across every screen. Alien text began scrolling underneath it, a language no one recognized. The council leader slammed his hand. Translate it. It is not our language, a technician shouted. Our system cannot read it. The human diplomat closed his eyes. I know it, he said quietly. Every alien turned toward him again. What does it say? The leader demanded. The diplomat opened his eyes slowly, his face tense. It says, he whispered, we have arrived. A cold shiver passed through the room. The council leader shook his head. Who are they? The diplomat spoke carefully, each word heavy. They call themselves the architects. Whispers exploded around the chamber. I have heard legends. No, they are myths. They are not real. The diplomat raised his hand, silencing them. "Oh, they are real," he said softly. "Too real." The station shook again, this time violently. Alarms blared. Panels sparked. The floor trembled as if something massive had latched onto the outside of the structure. The council leader shouted, "Shields! Activate the shields!" "It's too late," a guard cried. "Something is overriding our systems from the outside." The screen suddenly shifted again. This time it wasn't the human fleet. Something else appeared. A shape. A monstrous silhouette. At first it looked like a ship, but then the details became clearer, too sharp, too massive, too unnatural. It moved like a living creature. It glowed like a machine. It was both and neither. One alien screamed, "What kind of ship is that?" The human diplomat stared at it without blinking. "That is not a ship," he said quietly. "That is a harvester." The council leader shook his head violently. "What does it harvest?" The diplomat's answer was simple. "Civilizations." Gasp. Panic. Terror. "But why would they come here?" the leader screamed. "Why now?" The diplomat's cold eyes turned toward him. "Because they detected something." "What?" the leader demanded. The human answered with one word. "Fear." The harvester moved closer on the screen. Its giant mechanical limbs wrapped around the council station. Massive drills and energy claws spun, preparing to tear into the structure. "They came," the diplomat said, "because they sensed weakness. They sensed your panic. They sensed your fear of humanity, and they followed it here." The chamber began shaking violently as the harvester struck the outer hull. Screams filled the room. The council leader shouted, "Human! If you have any mercy, help us." The diplomat turned toward him. And for the first time, his smile returned. "We will help," he said softly. "But now you understand why humans must be strong." He stepped forward, his voice rising. "You declared war on the only species that could save you." Another brutal impact hit the station. Panels fell from the ceiling. The lights dimmed. The human touched his earpiece. "Command," he said calmly, "begin Operation Aegis." Outside, the human flagship turned toward the harvester. Its engines lit up like newborn suns. Its weapons awakened like sleeping gods. Humanity was about to fight something even the galaxy feared. A deep silence filled the great hall as every alien stared at the giant hologram of Earth's defense grid. The glowing blue lines showed thousands of satellites, hidden weapons, and strange symbols no alien could understand. The council members whispered nervously, their voices shaky and thin. Ambassador Rex stood calm in the center of the room, hands folded behind his back, like a teacher waiting for noisy children to settle down. His eyes were fixed on the council leaders, reading their fear like an open book. Grand Marshal Verkan finally broke the silence. "Human, this is impossible. No species hides a weapon network this large without anyone noticing." Rex tilted his head slightly. "We did not hide it. You simply never bothered to look." The marshal growled, "You prepared for war before we even came to your world." Rex nodded slowly. "Yes, because in our history, peace never lasted long. We learned to prepare early before danger arrived." There was no threat in his voice. No anger. Only truth. And that truth scared the council more than any weapon. The council starts to panic. The insectoid commander clicked her mandibles in fear. How long have humans been ready for this?" Rex answered simply, 200 years. The room exploded with shouts. 200. Impossible. No young species advances that fast. Is this a trick? The tall reptilian guard slammed his staff against the floor, trying to restore order. But nothing helped. Fear was spreading like fire. And then Rex spoke again, calm but firm. "Sit down. All of you. You wanted war. Now you must listen." Something in his tone made them obey instantly. Rex reveals the second truth. With a swipe of his hand, the hologram changed again. Now it showed the outer defense fleet, thousands of human warships rising from Earth's orbit like a silver storm. Sleek, sharp, and powerful, each ship glowed with an energy unknown to alien science. The council gasped in horror. Commander Jera whispered, "This cannot be real. These ships, they look like they were built to fight an entire galaxy." Rex smiled for the first time. That was the idea. The room fell into dead silence. The hidden question. The council chairwoman, shaking slightly, finally asked the question all of them feared. "Ambassador, what do humans want?" Rex stepped forward, the hologram light shining on his face. "Peace. Always peace." Then he added in a low, dangerous tone, but we are not afraid of war. His eyes moved across the room, meeting each alien's gaze one by one. You chose war today. Remember that. We did not. The council felt something they never felt from any species in the galaxy. Quiet confidence, calm, controlled, and terrifying. A message from Earth. A soft beep echoed across the hall. A message from the human homeworld. Rex opened it without hesitation. A small hologram of Earth's prime leader appeared, a woman with silver hair and a calm expression. She looked around at the council and spoke in a steady voice. Council members, this is a formal notification. If you attack Earth, we will respond. We will defend ourselves. And we will not hold back. Her voice was soft. Too soft. Like a mother warning a child not to touch a hot stove. The message ended instantly. Some council members trembled. Others couldn't breathe. Humanity's warning wasn't loud. It was quiet, controlled, deadly. The line is drawn. Rex turned off the hologram and faced the council again. You can still choose peace, he said. All you must do is step back. Stop your invasion fleet. Talk with us honestly. Grand Marshal Verkan slammed his fist on the table. Humans are manipulating us. This is not peace, this is intimidation. Rex shrugged lightly. You pointed weapons at our world first. I am only returning the courtesy. The Marshal glared at him with burning hatred. You think we fear you? Rex leaned forward slightly, his voice dropping to a whisper that carried through the entire hall. You should. The words hit harder than a weapon. The final declaration. A deep rumble shook the hall, the sound of dozens of security drones activating above them. Aliens flinched, thinking they were under attack. Rex calmly raised a hand. No. Not drones. That sound is something else. Every alien looked at the holographic window as it lit up again. This time it displayed the human vanguard fleet entering the region near the council capital. Thousands of ships, arranged in perfect formation, moving with the precision of a single mind. A collective gasp spread through the room. Rex spoke the final line without fear, without hesitation. You chose war. His eyes burned with quiet fire. So shall we begin? The council froze, realizing one terrible truth. Humanity did not bluff. Humanity did not fear. Humanity was ready. The great hall trembled as the hologram showed the human vanguard fleet arriving near the council's capital world. Thousands of human ships moved forward in silent formation. They did not fire. They did not send threats. They simply arrived, calm, controlled, and ready. For the first time in the council's long history, every leader felt truly small. Ambassador Rex watched their reactions carefully. There was shock. There was fear. And deep inside there was something far more dangerous, regret. The council's fear grows. Grand Marshal Verkan finally found his voice. This is a trick. Humans cannot build a fleet this powerful. They cannot move this fast. Rex replied softly. Then step outside and check. You will find everything is real. The insectoid commander whispered. They came so quickly, faster than any warp engine we know. Rex nodded. We learned to bend space, not just travel through it. The aliens stared at him as if he had spoken ancient magic. Humanity's technology was not just advanced, it was ahead by centuries. Suddenly the council chairwoman stood. Her voice trembled. Ambassador, what is your fleet doing here? Rex looked directly at her. They are here because you pointed your weapons at Earth. They will not attack unless you do something unwise. It was not a threat. It was a statement. And sometimes the truth hurts more than fear. The Marshal breaks. Marshal Verkan slammed the table with both fists. You humans think you can scare us with your silent ships? We are the Council. We rule this galaxy. Rex did not react. Instead he took one slow step forward. No, he said calmly. You rule the galaxy because no one ever challenged you. Until now. The Marshal tried to speak again, but his voice shook. He could not understand how humans stayed so calm in a room full of enemies. Most species cried. Most begged. Most broke. But humans? They smiled. And that smile scared him more than any weapon. The human fleet locks position. A new alarm echoed through the hall. The hologram updated. Human ships had moved again, forming a giant circle around the capital world. Perfect. Symmetrical. Deadly. A full encirclement. The reptilian general hissed in fear. They are surrounding us. Rex corrected him gently. No. They are surrounding themselves. So your fleet cannot attack them from behind. The aliens stared at him in disbelief. Humans were not threatening them. Humans were protecting their own soldiers. inside the enemy's home system. No species in the galaxy had ever shown such confidence. Rex gives his final warning. Rex walked to the center of the hall and spoke the words every leader feared. If you fire even one shot at my people, we will respond with full force. His voice stayed soft. Almost too soft. Like a whisper in a storm. You asked for war. You pushed for war. But humans do not start wars. We finish them. Silence swallowed the room. No alien dared speak. A message from the human fleet. A deep chime rang through the hall. A message from the Vanguard fleet. Rex opened it. A calm female officer appeared as a hologram. Ambassador, the fleet is in position. Our weapons are online. Awaiting your signal. Every alien leader froze. Rex didn't even blink. Stand by, he replied. No one fires without my order. The officer saluted and disappeared. The council realized something shocking. Humans were giving them mercy. Despite the fear, despite the insults, despite the threats, humans still held back. This made the council feel even smaller. The turning point. The council chairwoman finally spoke, tears gathering in her eyes. Ambassador Rex, please, what do humans want from us? Rex looked around the room slowly, letting his words settle deep into their hearts. We want respect. We want peace. But we will not bow. And we will never be controlled. He paused, letting the weight of the moment sink in. You pushed us to the edge. Now you must decide. War or peace? A heavy silence followed. Every alien leader glanced nervously at each other. The truth was clear. They chose war. The galaxy would burn. The final decision. The insectoid commander lowered her head. We cannot fight humans. Not like this. Not today. The reptilian general followed. End the invasion. Pull back our fleet. One by one, every leader agreed. Even Marshal Vercon stayed silent, too afraid to speak against them now. The chairwoman turned to Rex. We choose peace. Rex finally smiled, not with pride but with relief. Good. Then humanity accepts. He pressed a button on his wrist device. Instantly, the human fleet broke formation and moved back, leaving a safe corridor open. No threat. No aggression. Just discipline and silence. The council watched in awe. Humans had won the war. Without firing a single shot. The last words. Before leaving, Rex looked back at them one final time. Remember this day. We came here as diplomats. Not conquerors. But never mistake our kindness for weakness. He turned, his coat moving like a shadow behind him. And next time, choose peace first. With that, he walked out of the great hall, leaving the council trembling in their seats. The galaxy finally understood one truth. Humanity smiled during peace, because they were built for war.